once again, it's such a good experience having so many amazing projects on here, obviously, to collaborate with us. And I'd like to introduce as well, Ina. She's a part of what I would call the Swiss Army knife of the Layer 1X team. So even if you want to give a quick shout out, Ina, it's over to you, and you can do some intros for the projects as well while we just wait for, I think, RedCurry to jump up.
Well, hello
Over
guys.
to you.
I hope you can hear me. Also, give me thumbs up if you can hear me. Um,
Loud and
Delighted,
clear. Good to go.
perfect. Delighted to be here. Welcome everyone to yet another episode of Layer One X's very own X Talks podcast on everything interoperability. So I'm joining the host team and I'm so happy about it. Today is my very first time when I'm joining Joe on this journey. So, yeah. And today we have two absolutely wonderful protocols to shed the light on. We are waiting for Caspar to join as speaker. Oh, he just joined. Perfect. All right. So we have already partnered up with one of the guests, and they're absolutely amazing. We would like to welcome RedCurry, a great innovative digital currency, all backed by commercial real estate. And we also just recently became friends with Cyberlete, also amazing project, a technology company built by gamers for gamers. So, welcome, guys, and over to Joe.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here as well. I realize the first time on a Spaces is a real experience too, especially if you jump on and nobody can hear you. From experience, that's pretty garbage. But we can hear you loud and clear, and it's absolutely wonderful to have you here with us. So let's dive straight in. I know that we've probably done a couple of little intros before, but maybe just give me a one liner from you guys to get us up to speed with where you're at as a project, as an example, like what you do. If you were to encompass the elevator pitch me, what exactly is it that you do, so that everybody in the audience has a quick overscope of what you're about. Who wants to kick off? Casper, Cyberlete, either one's good to go.
As you wish, Cyberlete, maybe take lead.
Do you want me to start? Is that what you're saying?
As you wish, yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Jeffrey Monis, co-founder of Cyberlete. A little bit about us. We're a massive social application. We have competitive features for gamers embedded with an AI anti-cheat technology and biometric player verification. We started this journey to help stop the plague of cheating in online games and finally create a level playing field for all.
All right.
Fantastic. Yeah, like I said, perfect elevator pitch. Over to you, Casper.
Sure, thank you. So for us, we started looking at the world and how to change it for better. And we think that the better world starts with better money, one that cannot be printed endlessly at will, is safe and accessible, and is stable. So that's where we created RedCurry, which is a real estate-backed currency providing inflation-resistant means of payment. So basically, we are democratizing access to hard, secure money for everyone. So that is banked or underbanked. I'm Casper. I'm a co-founder and CTO for RedCurry.
Oh, fantastic. And both super innovative ideas. I think that's one of the really amazing things about Web3 is we're pushing the boundaries of what's possible and what's capable inside the technological world. And, you guys have amazing projects right at the forefront of that in terms of, community, but also in terms of what the capabilities are into real world application. So just on that, knowing you've just given us a quick intro, so what is it specifically that makes either of your projects unique in your respective industries?
So we at Cyberlete, we're unique because we're fixing a big problem for gamers. And that's kind of like this big segmentation of gamers. It's kind of like everything is spread across the internet. You have TikTok, you have YouTube, you have Twitter, you have this, you have that. And there's not really any of these social platforms that really are focused on gaming. Or are they trying to create any type of ecosystem or creator economy for the gamers that exist? So it's just a bunch of more places for everybody to check instead of having everything kind of in one spot. So we're kind of trying to make something, a social platform that's so easy and intuitive to learn. And then at the same time, the competitive features are just caked into that. So it's intuitive. So you can just create a team, invite your friends, join the tournaments. And there's not like this huge, like, I have to discover what to do and learn a whole nother thing. It's just very easy and simple. Essentially, like, creating a team is a few clicks at this point. It's pretty cool.
All right, thanks. And from RedCurry's side, I mean, we started looking at money as what we use today, and then so whether these are quote unquote stable currencies like euro or dollar, which are not really stable considering debasement and inflation and the global monetary policy. And then we looked at the crypto space where we see the digital twin of these, right? We see Tether making USDT or Circle making USDC or EuroC, but they're nothing more than digital twins of existing fiat currencies. And we know the issue with these. And so there are alternatives like Bitcoin, which was supposed to be, and maybe it will someday be, an alternative currency, but it has its problems. So the key one being volatility. So the reason why Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency is not used as a means of payments is that the merchants don't know the value tomorrow, right? RedCurry stands apart really from the fact that we back everything with commercial real estate, which is denominated in euro. So you know the value tomorrow. And when we use prime commercial real estate, then the value can be quite well predicted. And while we retain the behavior of money, so it is built on blockchain, so it works like any other currency, so it's easy to use, it's easy to accept and transact on, but we retain that the value of it through backing it with real estate.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic answers from both. It's such different dynamics too, in terms of obviously what you're both tackling, and knowing you're both in the same, in the same broad space of, what we would classify Web3. That's amazing. Ina, any input?
Absolutely, yes. Thank you for introductions, guys. Your unique features obviously are not only a selling point of your project, right? It is also kind of your vision to the future of Web3 development, and your ambition to provide, I suppose, the best experience possible to your end user. Whether it's gaming or digital currency, obviously. So I'll go into broader questions. Question for now, and I would like to know, how do you see the future of decentralized finance, and what is your role in shaping that future? Did you guys hear me?
Yes. So I will take a stab at this. So how do we
Go
see
for
the
it.
future in decentralized finance? Essentially, we see the future in decentralization as an interoperable feature. So, like, as we're going into the future, the new internet is going to allow us to connect to many different things across the internet in a fashion of, I can be here and I can be everywhere at the same time, like your metaverse, and that same wallet is going to be at the store, and you're going to be able to kind of coexist and to interact with all these technologies. Um, and I just see that's where the future is going, where I will soon have my credit card essentially, and I'm going to be able to use my Bitcoin. Wait a minute, I can already do this. So the future's here. It's now just integrating all of it into the norm and allowing it to be used by everybody. So in my mind, we're in the future. It's now just making it readily available.
Totally agree with you. This is amazing. I actually, like, for me personally, even giving my background and where I am coming from, Central country, right? It is very important for me to, for my family to have access to certain funds and to international payment system. For instance, this is just an example of like the future that I look forward to in in my personal journey. So yeah, you've definitely hit the nail on this one. Caspar, what do you reckon?
Sure. So, when we started RedCurry, we didn't know we were going to be decentralized or on using blockchain even. So our ideas span from doing something different in the traditional space of finance with a mission to enable global access to stable hard money. One thing led to another, and then we ended up using blockchain technology and DeFi. So it really well aligns with our vision of how the world should be. And we see DeFi future in a very similar place. And that place is to have a democratized finance, offering a more inclusive or transparent services in the financial sector. So basically, bypassing traditional financial intermediaries, promoting a more direct and equitable financial system, and ultimately, providing an alternative to the traditional money, and making it accessible to everyone, which is the key here, right? So whether that is access to stability, whether that is access to real estate, or that is access to financial services like lending or borrowing. And so I think it very well aligns with what our vision for RedCurry is, and then we see that the DeFi is really supporting it and empowering this as well.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, to follow up on your answer, I would just, I wonder if you guys potentially have the ability to become one of stable coins, let's say better than USDT or USDC. Do you aim towards this direction, or what's your vision?
That is a very good question. So the short answer is it is in our back of our mind. And to really simplify this, the problem with stable coins today is that you can't back them 100% by cash. You can't run a business like that. So you obviously need to diversify. So then you run into issues of are you really backed by or not? What we can do with RedCurry is that as a RedCurry is backed fully by commercial real estate, we can run a sustainable business by being invested into real estate. We don't have to go anywhere else. Now, from there, we can use RedCurry to issue euro stablecoins. So technically, we have ideas about doing this. Whether that will happen in the near future is to be seen, but it is definitely doable, and we're thinking about it, yes.
Brilliant. Thank you. Well, let's go back to Cyberlete. Guys, I have a question more user-oriented. Can you explain and elaborate on user experience and how exactly Cyberlete works for an end user?
Yeah, sure. So in the beginning here, in the near future, we are trying to incorporate and do a thing called smart contracts, or not smart contracts, smart accounts. Pardon me. These are a new innovation called EIP 4337. So we're trying to make it very easy for users to sign up. Essentially, an email or a phone or your already decentralized wallet, whether it's MetaMask all the way to Stargazer, you are able to sign up, make an account easy, and it creates a wallet that we're able to interact with on our application. This is pretty cool stuff. This also gives you tools to like have account recoveries and some other nifty tools inside of that, like importing or exporting or doing some other cool things. So essentially, we're trying to make it a very under 4-click sign up process and keep it very easy while we're onboarding users. As that is going on, it will be easy to then create a team and then join the tournaments. And then after you get paid for the tournament, it goes right to your account. And now it's in your account. You don't have to wait 6 months, like kind of like it's going on in the scene right now. People don't get paid for 6 months. This stuff will literally happen instantaneously with our smart contracts.
That's awesome. I know that's a big thing in the space is I think at the moment people are programmed for the delayed gratification of Web3 or crypto or anything like that. I think it's been programmed into us at this stage from a lot of projects that it's like, do stuff now, get stuff later. And that tends to be much later sometimes, which can be, I suppose, a huge spike meter for FUD in a lot of places. It's really good to see that, you innovating to make a change for that, because I think it's necessary, especially in that aspect. Would you say, and I imagine it's very different for RedCurry in that aspect, like how does that work for you guys with, I suppose, payments and things like that? Is that how when you're digitizing real world assets, for example, commercial real estate, is there how would I say, like rental payments and things like that? Is that part of things that RedCurry handles on chain as well, or is that more so off chain?
Yeah, so there's a lot to build here. We want to focus on creating the infrastructure. So basically, we run a real estate fund of funds. We make those investments into the correct commercial real estate. We use this as the collateral for the digital currency that we then issue. That's what we focus on. Now we most likely have to build some of the use cases ourselves, and we're working on some of them. And that can be, for example, real estate deposit payments, where today, an average length of a commercial real estate contract is 5 years. So on average, you have to deposit for 5 years, and you see that you get that money back after that contract ends. That is a long time to be stuck in the deposit contract. With the inflation rate of today, you won't have much left. So for the low-hanging fruit is to solve that, right? So use RedCurry instead. Basically, pay your deposits on RedCurry and get it back after 5 years, and it has appreciated. You mentioned the lending concept, right? So today, I've been in the DeFi space for some time. The biggest problem as a user I see from the lending side is the over collateralization, and that's quite massive there. The reason is because the underlying collateral is volatile, right? The lenders don't take the risks, unnecessarily risk. So with RedCurry, as we achieve the stability, we can be under collateralized, right? So that is a big benefit compared to other cryptocurrencies. So there's many different use cases that can be used. Which of those we will build ourselves is to be seen. We want to keep our focus right now. We are working with potential partners, lending platforms who would do that, who would provide that support, and then we would facilitate the adoption. Like I said, right now we're focusing on building the infrastructure up, and then creating the foundation for others to build on top of, and possibly pioneering some of the, piloting some of the use cases ourselves. But to answer the original question as well, I mean, from the use case side, right, we are as easy to use as Bitcoin, right? You can buy RedCurry on whether a central exchange or decentralized exchange, and use it as a on any wallet. So it behaves like any other cryptocurrency.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's oh, sorry, you go on.
Oh yeah, I was just given the development stages of both projects, and I just wanted to basically insert my two penny comment on interoperability, and I wanted to ask if you guys feel, if you do feel that interoperability, like the ability to go cross-chain, will give you an edge against your competitors, if that feature could potentially bring you like in front you and give you a massive advantage towards the competitive market. What do you reckon?
So from the RedCurry side, we see cross chain strategy already key to us today. So we are working on making RedCurry available on different blockchains. So it's definitely very important for us, especially when we talk about access as well. So our mission is to be as accessible as possible, and that would require us to be available on different blockchains and different service providers. I think for us, interoperability also means the interoperability of on-chain and off-chain worlds. So bringing real-world revenue, like rental income, on-chain. So actually, when we issue RedCurry, we also reinvest majority of the rental income back into RedCurry, meaning that we bring the real-world economy revenue on chain, right? So it will all be mirrored in the value of RedCurry itself. So yeah, this is a kind of a big topic to summarize in 1 minute. But for sure, so diverse use cases, like I mentioned before, lending, borrowing, deposit payments, it will all require RedCurry to be cross-chain or multi-chain. And today we are working on a cross-chain strategy. So it is very important for us. It's one of I would say, one of the high priority topics that we are working on.
I'll jump in
Wonderful.
too.
Thank you. Yeah, go for it,
Hey,
please. Hi.
Thanks for having me up. I'm James, co-founder of Cyberlete too. I don't want to let Jeff be the only one to talk. He's been on calls all day, so I'm gonna step in a little bit. I think right now, does interoperability give us an edge? I think it gives us an edge, and I think it gives every other company that's getting into Web3 an edge to be interoperable. Right now, the companies who have this one-click sign up, as if like Web2, when they're able to onboard their users into Web3, that's going to be a massive competitive edge, because as everyone knows, the communities are spread out. Not all blockchains are one. We have communities on Solana, we have communities in different sectors of Ether. And it's the same way in gaming, especially. We have different platforms. We have, Steam, we have Epic Games, and different platforms. That's why right now, I think if anyone can tackle the interoperability part of it, they're going to be, greatly ahead. Here in the future, and just a few years, interoperability is going to be commonplace, and everybody will be interoperable. But at first, the ones who achieve it first and do a good job with their UI, UX, and make the user flow fluid and easy to understand, intuitive functions, I think will not only make a gaming company excel, but any company coming into Web3 excel.
100%. Given that we have two absolutely different projects on board today, right? However, like the unity within Web3 community and collaboration between projects with different abilities, different features, capabilities is so important. Do you guys, in your development stages as well, do you prioritize any like collaborative experiences or partnerships at the moment? Where are you at in terms of that?
So yeah, we're not just working with gaming companies. We actually, I'll tell you a few we're working with. We're working with Constellation Network. They're a security company for the government, and also working with Finavant. They created a biometric system that we're using. So these companies are in Web3. Like I said, with the biometrics, that's how we're verifying the gamers on our platform. On Twitter, they'll charge you for your blue check mark. On Cyberlete, if you want to be a verified gamer, you scan your face with your webcam just as you would with your iPhone to log into your phone. And that just makes sure that you can't create another account. So you can't, cheat in the game, get banned, create a new account, and do it all over again. I kind of forgot what part of the question was, if you could help me out. Oh, the partners and how we're working. Okay. So the other weird partner we have, well, I wouldn't say partner quite yet, but we are working with them as a drone industry partner. So that has nothing to do with gaming at all. But how we made it work is, we met them through a Constellation. They're part of their network. And the guy, he's very involved in drones, and he's working with major companies, companies that deliver food and such. And so we worked with him. We're going to work with them to bring that to our application. So, you'll be able to have food delivered to your house, and you'll be able to see that inside of the metaverse if you choose to. So that's kind of some of the ways that we're working with companies that aren't necessarily gaming companies, but they do have tools that we can use. And we kind of met them just by being in the Web3 space.
Lovely. Caspar, what you've got?
Yeah, sure. So, obviously when you start a company in Web3 or in any other industry, there's so much to build, and you won't do it yourself alone. So how I see this is this different pockets, I would say, or groups of companies that we work with. So whether that is security. So for example, everything we do goes through Fireblocks. Fireblocks provides us the security layer that we need, whether that is multi-signature policies or wallets, etc. We're working with them. From the Oracle side, like we were talking about interoperability before, but we also, from the optical side of things, not just practical, but from the optical side of things, we also need to have third-party Oracle services that showcase or distribute the underlying collateral value of RedCurry. So what is the value of the real estate, right? So we're working with Chainlink on that side. From the cloud operational side, we're running, our cloud stack is not very heavy, but it is still something. So we are in the Google programs, working with Google Cloud. They're helping us with the cloud technologies that we do need. That the part that is then is still centralized, right? Running like more traditional stuff. From the distribution side, so RedCurry, we don't distribute ourselves. We issue and redeem RedCurry, so acting almost like a central bank, but we don't go directly to the customers ourselves. So we distribute through distribution partners. So whether these are virtual asset providers or WASPs, or their exchanges. So we are working with, for example, CoinStore, BlockTrade. We're working with some of DeFi platforms to provide the distribution side of things. Also, then from the network and business development side, we're a founding member of the Web3 Chamber in Estonia, and we're working with Cockpit and some other companies that help us to really, get the foot through the door in many places. And then blockchains, right? big help for us and kind of a mutual benefit, I suppose, for everybody is to collaborate closely with different blockchains, like let's say layer 1x, right? So the what you guys are doing in the interoperability space is really helps projects like RedCurry to be more easily accessible to the general public. So we are working, and this list is definitely incomplete, and we're looking forward to working with more and more partners.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from a partnership point of view, Web3 is very advanced in the sense that I think we know that, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And we're building off each other to create a better networked effect of things that can to plug the interoperability that are interoperable with each other. And that's very important, I think, for a strong ecosystem just across the board. So it's good to see that partnerships obviously play a large part in both the projects that you guys have. Just to I suppose dive in a little bit further to the tech side of things. Can we get some insights into the tech stack that that Cyberlete that powers you guys? Even RedCurry, the stuff that powers you. Look, what are the things you have to have as a minimum setup in order for your product to work? And I hope that question makes sense. That might take us on a bit of a journey, but I'm here for it. We'll see how we go.
Sure. Great question. Awesome. So there's a lot that goes on underneath the hood. I will say that on the tech side of Cyberlete, we have a bunch of servers that we have to buy essentially, and that hosts our front end, our back end, and then we have an application layer, and then we also have security things. We have AI ML stuff. We have storage for things. Essentially, there is a lot underneath the hood for the tech stack, but nothing's really changing because it's all typically the same infrastructure that we all use for everything. The only difference here is what blockchain are we plugging in to the traditional tech stack. As of now, we are doing Ethereum, and we are also building it in such a way that we're interoperable and using Constellation, and we're talking to other chains in the meantime. And we are kind of making it work for all of it. So when people come in, they can utilize every chain, not just one chain or the other chain, essentially, the interoperability side. So as of now, our tech stack is traditional, like everybody else's, and we're adding Ethereum and Constellation to our tech stack. Constellation in the near future is a metagraph that we use. It's a layer 1 metagraph. So it's a layer 1 blockchain. It's our own blockchain. And we will use that for things that we need to do for scaling. At first, it's going to be an immutable history of all of the game tournaments that are on the site, or leagues or events. So now we know what players join and leave teams, what teams join the tournaments, their stats, and it's never going away. Why we're doing this? Well, gaming data is deleted all the time. History is left. You got Microsoft, Xbox, deleting all of 360 stuff here soon. So everybody's history is just going away. So that means if you were a competitor or did have insights or trophies or stuff, that's just gone. I am personally affected by this. A lot of the history that I started with years ago is just being deleted here soon. So that means if I don't save it, or if I didn't know about that, I wouldn't have access to it. And this is not good. So we use these different tech stacks to contribute to the overall platform of creating this creator ecosystem that we're trying to do for gamers.
Yeah, I think it's a thing that's probably not much touched on is here's the thing: how does it actually work? What are the capabilities and backends that have to go to it? Yeah, over to you, Casper RedCurry. Tell me, what infrastructure, what things do you need from a technological stack that powers your project?
Yeah. So when we decided to use decentralized finance or TLT technologies for RedCurry, then one of the key decisions or principal decisions we made was that we will build as much as possible on chain, and therefore the reason is the reason is transparency. Ultimately, when you're building a currency, then the adoption of that currency is tightly coupled with the trust towards that currency, and trust can be achieved through transparency. That's one part of it, right? So our stack is heavily on chain. We have the token contract, obviously, but that is quite a vanilla ERC20 contract. We also have an asset contract where we track the entire collateral on chain. So you will be able to, and you will see today, all the assets that RedCurry has as collateral on chain. So it's publicly auditable, right? All the data is there, and we also reference links to off-chain sites. So whether these are national registries, etc., so you can double check the ownership of these assets and whether our foundation is the owner of it or not. We publish that data then on chain through a more traditional web interface or a DApp. So that is kind of the off-chain technology. So we built this back office system that is connected with our contracts through Fireblocks secure kind of a thing that they offer, not getting into the details, but basically everything goes through Fireblocks, so they won't be able to, it's not so easily, so basically nobody can write their private keys somewhere and then if those get lost, then we are screwed, right? It's all MPC technology in terms of wallets. And then finally, to kind of put this all together, we have another smart contract, which we call the governor smart contract. And basically what happens is that you cannot issue or redeem RedCurry directly. You have to go through the governor, and that is also open source smart contract that is running on blockchain. And basically what it does in a simplified way is it checks what's our collateral on chain, and then it decides how much and if it can issue RedCurry or redeem it for that matter. So even if I want to issue RedCurry, without maybe changing the collateral, I cannot. So it all has to first go into buying real estate, issuing that on chain so that everybody can see, and then and only then can RedCurry be issued. That is a kind of a very simplified way of explaining it, but more or less, I would say like 80% is on chain and 20% is off chain. And then one more part, which is more like a traditional thing. We have an application. Not everybody can go on scanners, blockchain scanners, and read smart contract data. Obviously, it's not that easy. So we built an explorer. So we call it RedCurry Explorer, and that reads data directly from on-chain and displays it in a nice visual way. So you can see what assets are backing RedCurry, what is the worth of those assets. You can see history as well, so the change of these assets. And of course, you can also see the audits that are being done to these assets. So we follow regulatory requirements like any other fund. And we also issue the audit reports on chain, so you will be able to see which assets have been audited and when, and we can reference to the audit reports also. So we're really trying to build this very, very transparent system, and the only way we really saw how to do it was to build open source and to build on chain.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I was just a great answer. I was just trying to process so many things there. Did you have something to throw in?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember very first time when we had a chat with Caspar, with RedCurry guys, and I remember the emphasis on transparency, on accessibility for end user, and most importantly, it's the the easy way, introducing the easy way for a user who might not be that tech savvy, and still have access to information, to comprehensive analysis of what's happening on chain, what's happening to transactions, and it is very important for just end users, for normal people, as I classify myself definitely, to have that simplicity and usability within Web3 experience that at the moment sometimes comes across quite complicated, a bit scary, a bit dangerous due to like security and stuff. So yeah, this is brilliant. Kudos to you guys, and yeah.
Just a question to build on top of that. I think these tie into each other with the tech stack, but obviously then working in with something that's very current recently, which is regulatory compliance. And I think this one's very specific for RedCurry, but I'd be really interested to see, Cyberlete, what your take is on it as well. How do you navigate that? How do you navigate knowing that there is regulatory considerations across different areas, domains, jurisdictions? How do you remain compliant? Is it like we're coming to a point, I think, where we can't keep operating in grey areas, which I think crypto does really well. But we know that long term, obviously, there will have to be some level of compliance for, for continued growth and adoption. How does that fit into both of your projects?
For us at Cyberlete, we don't mess around at all. We have very experienced lawyers who guide us on what to do. And to put it in short, a big part of the answer is to have utility. So everything you're doing is utility. You don't have a token to have a token just so the price will go up and that people will buy it in hopes the price will go up. No, you have a token because you have a use case for that token. There's things you're trying to accomplish with the token, whether it be using the token to tip people online on a Cyberlete application, to join a tournament, or anything. As long as, I think the main takeaway is get a lawyer who knows what they're talking about and don't cheap out on the lawyer, and everything you do, just keep utility on your mind.
Yeah, great answer. Casper, I'd be really interested to hear from your guys' perspective, obviously having real world assets as well. Over to you.
So, if we look at the fundamental concept of RedCurry, which is an alternative means of payment, it is to appreciate the value as well. And how to do that without becoming a security was the question here for us when we started it. Even before we decided to put in the fifth gear and go full speed, we worked a year on the regulatory side to make sure that we don't build everything and then realize that it's still a security, right? So that was the key question here. We are operating in Europe. We are issuing RedCurry in EU. So we took and we look at that at the laws of EU, and the financial instrument directive was the MiFID II, which was kind of it literally means the EU financial instrument directive, which was then the draft was on our table a couple of years ago, and then we aligned ourselves accordingly. And now it's more mature. It's being put into law. And we are following that MiFID II regulation. RedCurry does not fall under the definition of a security. It also has been confirmed through extensive independent legal reviews. We're working with major law firms, have been working with them for years. We have one of our founders has a very strong legal background also. So we are not a security. We could be considered then unregulated, but that would obviously not be preferred, right? So we were looking at ways of what we are rather than what we are not, which was also important. So we fall under what it's called as an alternative. It's basically an instrument of payment, right? An alternative to a legal tender, basically. Instruments of payment, they are regulated, but not by securities acts. It's rather by banking sector acts. So we are designed to be fully to fully comply with banking sector regulations, and so because of that, and this is what I mentioned before, we have to distribute through financial institutions or licensed financial service providers that also are compatible with or comply with banking sector acts. So as an infrastructure, just to summarize that, so as an infrastructure developer, we are creating a means of payment, an instrument of payment that we then distribute through a fully licensed service provider, and we don't fall, according to the latest European laws, fall under any security. What it will mean to the global or the outside of EU is as long as we issue and redeem and operate in Europe, people can use RedCurry outside as well. It does not affect where you are, where you buy it. It will rather affect who will be distributing it. So, for example, if we sell RedCurry in Australia, we would then have to distribute it through a financial service provider that operates in Australia and is regulated by the Australian law. But we are still, as the issuer in Europe, are still falling under the MiFID II and the banking sector here. So that is pretty, it's quite covered that was the first thing we did. And then maybe finally on that note, we also have kind of ties in to how RedCurry is built up and the whole transparency question. We are owned, or the collateral is owned by a foundation. And the foundation itself is renounced. So it is an ownerless structure. There are no ultimate beneficiaries. And that can be achieved. There are laws in place from 1991, the Austrian law of private foundations, for example, that states that this can be done. So you can have a foundation, renounce it, be completely ownerless, and still have assets under it. And it has been used by wealthy families, by different foundations for 30 years now. Which ultimately what it does, it makes the RedCurry token itself the ultimate beneficiary, because there is no other owner. It's only you. If you own RedCurry, you are the ultimate, the RedCurry token itself is the ultimate beneficiary. So yes, a lot was packed into this answer, which we have been working for many years, but I hope that didn't make things more complicated than it already is.
Sometimes they're the best answers. I think the ones where it's an in-depth question, a light question at the surface, but an in-depth answer, so to speak, because it really drags into what are the necessities for creating something to work properly in order for it to be compliant, in order for us to as users, etc., to be able to see that there's a lot of thought pattern that goes into it as well, and there's a lot of diligence, and it's really good to hear from both projects that that's at the forefront as well of the project, is obviously being compliant, obviously being on that cutting edge of what is the possibilities and what are the capabilities inside the regulation. So I think that's fantastic. Just conscious of time, I think we'll start our wrap up there. So just a closing statement, I think, from each project, and then we'll do our closeouts. I know it's a Friday in most places anyway. I know here in Australia it's a holiday, so let's keep on top of our timings, and let's get a closing statement from each project.
Hey,
All right,
sorry.
Go ahead, Cyber.
No, I have multiple tabs open. I'm listening here, and I had to find the tab to unmute myself. There was a question in the chat. I want to address that real quick, and it was, how does Cyberlete address cheating and fraud associated with online gaming? Let me answer that, and I'll end. We address it by proving that the user behind the computer or electronic device is a human. So we're able to map out the human activity, how they operate their keyboard and mouse and their digital device. We're able to create a fingerprint for them, basically. And each user is different. You can put 100 users all playing the same game or using the same applications, and they all have different signatures. And so when they do something that breaks their signature, you can kind of look at your thumb and then press your other thumbnail against your thumb, and you'll see like a straight line across your thumbprint. And when we look at the data visually, that's how obvious it is that someone's cheating in that game. And so we address it first with our AI anti-cheat, and secondly with our biometric player verification system. That way, when you sign up and you become a verified player, if you do get caught cheating, you're not able to just create another account and continue robbing people in our platform. And just to kind of close out, thanks for having us on. We're big fans of Layer 1X, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to have you guys here. Like I said at the start, it's always great to be able to dive into those into your projects and get that real insight from founders as well. So we appreciate having you here, Casper.
Yeah, thanks. So I'll close with what I started. I think together we are unstoppable. I think the goal here for many DeFi services is to put you in control of finances, to help you foster a fairer and more inclusive monetary system. I think this is this is definitely what we are doing in the crypto space, and I believe many other DeFi companies and platforms are doing as well. So I think collaboration here is very important to really see through the modern or the current financial system, and then see what can actually be achieved as well if we think 2 steps ahead. I think what we're doing is a testament to the potential of what can be done when you merge traditional assets with modern technologies like Layer 1X, right? So yeah, just thank you, Layer 1X, for having us here, for giving us this platform to reach out to the world. Let's nudge the monetary system together, 1 step at a time. We do have a Money Renaissance program going on right now, so if anybody wants to join, go to our website, take part. It's not very intense, so we don't expect you to work, but you can join our Renaissance program. There are many benefits there, different airdrops, different club invitations or invitation-only club systems that we have. So getting in early, there are definitely different perks and rewards coming up. More on our website about that. And thanks again, Layer 1X, for having us on, and looking forward to the next ones.
Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Okay, a quick closing statement from me as well. I personally really appreciate your collaboration, your cooperation, your friendships, and response to my constant bugging of like, do you want to come on our session? Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. You always have an amazing input, always have something to share with the audience. And, together we grow fast, we grow strong, and onwards and upwards. I will be dropping all the website links in the comment. Please, guys, follow Cyberlete and RedCurry's social handles, and also visit their website. There is cyberlete.io, there is redcurry.co. Also, if you know of any projects who would like to participate in our AMA sessions, in our open discussions, fully powered by Layer 1X. We only want your presence and insights. Please go on www.xtalksama.com and submit a form. We will be more than happy to get in touch with you, find out who you are, and invite you over. So thank you so much. Also, one more important note, please follow our Discord, jump on our Discord, join our community. We've got some really good perks going on, and yeah, links are all dropped in comments section. Thank you very much from me. Thank you for making my first ever experience on Twitter Spaces so wonderful. And yeah, thank you for listening to my shaky voice.
It's a pleasure to have you here. And I know the first one's always the rip the band-aid experience. If you've never done spaces or live Q&A, I guess it's definitely something for the resume. It's if you've never done it and you're up here trying to present, for anybody in the audience, it does get better. I promise. The shaky things go away. Yeah, so no, but once again, thanks everybody for being here. We really appreciate having you as a part of the community, and not just our community, but the Cyberlete community as well as the RedCurry community, listening in and getting all the info. We will see all of you on the next one. We do have our, our X Talk AMAs are a regular thing, so stay in touch with our socials. We'll have them all across there. We update it regularly. As Ina said, jump in the Discord, and of course, jump in any of the links Discords for Cyberlete and also for RedCurry as well. As we said, if we want to go far, we go together, and that's what we're all about. Just building the platform, building the rails, so that all of us can be successful through 2024 and into the future. So once again, thanks everybody for being here, and we will catch you all on the next one. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Ciao, everybody.